Good afternoon. This is Lenny Buckholz from SCORE, and today's webinar is on Government Contracting 101. And for those of you who don't know about SCORE, I'll give you a brief introduction. And our goal is to foster vibrant small business through free mentoring and education. The mentoring is generally one-on-one or two-on-one. It's done through many different ways, in person, on email, or on the phone. We also have an education program that includes the webinar series, a workshop series, and we've been doing this for almost 60 years. We serve the small business communities and we provide the mentoring, webinars and workshops, etc. And we service startups, or if you're an established business and you need help growing, we can help you do that. We have over 10,000 volunteers to help the community, and here in the Hudson Valley, Long Island, New York City, we have over 300 mentors to help you. Next. These are the locations that service the area that we're talking about, and you could contact us for sessions. You could contact us for any business needs, and we'll be happy to help you. Next. So everyone is going to be muted, and if you have a question, just put it in the Q&A in the upper bar. You'll see that it says Q&A, and we'll take them at the end of the session. And we hope we can answer as many questions as possible. And if we run out of time, we run out of time, and we will send you the questions and the answers. We'll also be sending a copy of the webinar to you. And today's webinar, we're going to cover a situation in dealing with the government, which many of you who have tried know it could be difficult. It could be frustrating. It could be pleasant. And we have somebody with us today who's going to talk about how you get certified, how you do business with the government, and what's in it for you and what's in it for the government. And presented today is Nelson Ortiz. He's with the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, known as PTAC, and he's the director at LaGuardia Community College. There are PTACs throughout the country, but he supports our area. Next.
That's it.
So
well, thank you.
We're going to get right into it. And here's Nelson.
Hey, thank you, Lenny. And good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for joining us. My name is Nelson. I'm the director of the PTAC. Recently, we'd had a big change at the Department of Defense where we are getting rebranded as Apex Accelerators. So we are going to be, you're going to see a lot of changes as we go down, but we're still going to provide the same services on government contracting, just a rebranding of the name. So we're known as PTAC right now for now, but we're going to be moving on to Apex Accelerators in the near future. And a little bit about PTAC / Apex Accelerators. We're funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the Department of Defense Office of Small Business, and we are focused on identifying opportunities for businesses and helping them throughout the government supply chain and to make an impact in the supply chain at the city, state, or federal level. And we provide one-on-one procurement technical assistance through training workshops to any size business, whether they're diverse owned or not. We work with veterans and other small business concerns. And our focus as a program is to strive to simplify the steps of government contracting. Another outline of more in detail of our services is one-on-one counseling, New York City, New York State, and federal contracting assistance, training and understanding government contracting, reviewing bids for clients that may be going after a specific opportunity, GSA schedules and contracts. We provide many seminars with our partners, like SCORE and other partners that we have in the community. And we also assist clients in learning how to do research and analysis and providing data for them to make strides in doing business with the government and learning about opportunities that might be coming up that you can prepare for. We also help clients with SBIR, STTR grants. Those grants are specific to innovation-related organizations or companies that are looking to innovate and bring new things to the market. And we also assist with cybersecurity compliance with the Department of Defense. Just a little bit of LaGuardia and the LaGuardia Business Services team here at LaGuardia Community College in Long Island City, Queens. We have a small business development center that's funded by the SBA that helps clients with many of services, including business planning and financing. We have the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Business Program at LaGuardia that is an executive training program, which helps you become a better CEO. And if you want more information about any of the programs that I list, I'll have my contact information at the end. We also have the Small Business Transportation Resource Center, which is funded by the U.S. Department of DOT, which helps clients who are in the Department of Transportation area of focus. And we also have a New York Design Incubator that helps businesses who are in manufacturing or technology-based businesses that need space to do business. So I'm going to go straight into the main purpose of you guys being here. Is government contracting right for you, right? Government contracting 101 encompasses everything that's required, but I always like to discuss of whether government are you there yet? And many of you are, and many of you may not. But at least you'll know the steps that you need to think about before you go into and set up a one-on-one appointment with us. Is we want to make sure you're in a place where you're ready to do business. So the three elements of a responsible and responsive vendor that we look for, and this is how you can grade yourself whether you're at that place where you are ready to do business with the government, is financial capacity, organizational capacity, and past performance. These are the three pillars, I would say, that you want to have in place before you actually think of, let me spend my time registering, certifying, and doing all these things with the government, because without these things, it'll be very difficult to compete with other people who are ready. So from a financial capacity perspective, are you able to cover upfront costs? The government will not pay you upfront if you do business with the government. Do you have the appropriate accounting processes and payroll processes for a project? You're going to have those things in order to be able to do business with the government in most cases. Organizational capacity. Do you have a process in place for researching contract opportunities? Do you have people in place that you can hire right away to execute on a contract? Even if those people are not working for you yet, but do you have an idea of a roster of people that you can reach out to go after a project? So those are things that you want to think about, because labor is a challenge for most people. Past performance. The government is not in the business of doing business with people who have never done any sales or provided any services at all. So depending on what you do as a business, you need to have past performance. And it doesn't have to be with the government. It could be in the private sector. You want to be in business before you start doing business with the government. And so those are some of the things that you want to put together before you start thinking whether government contracting is right for you. So let's say that you have decided that government contracting is right for you based on those three pillars, and that you are ready to take on a small project. You want to do research and focus on who might be buying what you're selling, because if you're a very niche market, it may be a very small opportunity for you. So you want to do research on websites like New York City Checkbook, NYC, where you can see anybody who's ever gotten a check by New York City. You can check out New York State Open Book, where you can look at anybody who ever received the check. And the reason why you want to know this is because you want to know, okay, my competitors, are they making money? are there sales for my competitors? And that might be a good opportunity for you to search the app, search and see what the spend is like from an agency perspective. At the federal level, you have usaspending.gov, where you can, again, see all the spending data of the federal government from an agency perspective or a competitor perspective, and go from there. You want to see research current opportunities, right? What is the current float of opportunities that you guys are seeing in these different sites that you're looking? So if you're looking to do business with the city of New York, we have the City Record Online. And we'll be sharing these slides after, and you'll be able to click on the links and be able to find this information, or set up a one-on-one appointment with our team, and we'll go over it with you one-on-one. So New York State has a contract reporter. That's another website to find opportunities. And at the federal government, it's SAM, System for Award Management, where you'll find opportunities. So it's a good idea before you invest time and money in doing business with the government and registering and certifying and doing all these things that are required to do business with the government, which we're going to talk in more in detail. It's important for you to consider what are the outlooks for my business, and where are the opportunities lay? Because spending that small amount of time researching will save you a lot of time and money later on as you go forward. So the next step is, why government contracting, right? Let's say you're very successful in the private sector, you're making good money, you're providing for your families, and why would I want to spend time going after government contracts? So at the federal level, the government procures about $500 billion in government contracts, and 23% of that is to small business set-asides on average. That fluctuates year by year, but on average, about 23%. So you can say for a fact that there's probably a good amount of spend from the government happening with small businesses, and that the government has a really deep pocket. And some of our clients during an economic downturn may not have a really deep pocket. So having a government client can add value in a down market, as the government will continue to spend and buy services and products that it needs. So that's one of the reasons why it may be a good idea to add government clients as part of your portfolio, not as you don't want to oversaturate any line of your business. You want to manage that, but having the government included in your portfolio can add a lot of value in some cases. At the state level, the government's spending almost $6.7 billion, and the state of New York has different goals for minority and women-owned businesses and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. And the state of New York and the city, for the most part, they're meeting that goal. So they're spending a big chunk of that $6 billion every year. 30% of it is going to minority women-owned businesses and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. At the New York City level, a little bit more. The city of New York is spending on average about $15 billion. And they also have a 30% goal for minority women-owned businesses. But they also do business with businesses that are not minority and women-owned business. So there are opportunities for small businesses also. But that's just to give you a why government contract might be important. Well, they have a lot of money to spend, and they're going to need to provide services to their constituents, whether it's us or whether it's agencies or whether the people that work for those agencies. So where do you begin? So you've done some research, you got an idea that government contracting might be right for you. There are opportunities with certain agencies that you've seen. So now we're going to take the next steps of what are the steps to begin to do business with the government. The first step is registration. The second step is to certify with any certification that you may qualify for. And the third step is to find the active opportunities and create a marketing plan for your government clients. So registrations. The city, county, state, and federal government have their own registration portals. There are also other registration portals for certain authorities. So based on your business and what you're trying to do, we can work with you to understand where you want to spend your time in registering. The City of New York's registration is a two-step process where it includes the New York City Pay Information Portal and the New York City Passport Portal, where you are required to register to be able to get paid by the government. The counties of Nassau and Suffolk and also other counties like Westchester County, if any of you are located there, or the counties up north, they also have their own portals where you can find the opportunities and register as a vendor. That's the first step. Registration usually requires your EIN number and things of that nature, and your banking information so you can get paid. The state of New York also has a vendor registration portal and system for award management at the SAM. At the federal level, they have a registration portal. Without registering, they don't know you exist. You're not an active vendor, and you can't get paid. So that's the first step. The next step, if you are trying to do business with the federal government, is going to be the unique entity ID. This is a new number. It replaces the old Duns and Bradstreet number. And this UEI is going to be co-located at the SAM.gov website. So if you're trying to do business with the federal government, there's a two-step process of getting a unique entity ID, which verifies that your business actually exists. And then the SAM registration is basically the vendor number that registers your business and asks you a bunch of compliance questions to make sure that you're qualified to sell products and services to the government. In most cases, all agencies at state, local level have a questionnaire to make sure that you are qualified to do business with the government. The next step after you start the registration portal, you're going to bump into a section where it asks you about your commodity codes. So at the federal level, they have something called the North American Industry Classification System and Product Service Codes. These codes are located at the census.gov website. And the state of New York and also the federal government use these codes to decipher what you do. So usually there's a 6-digit number that tells the government, okay, I provide janitorial services, I provide electrical work, and I provide these other services. There's a specific code for each industry. So you would want to find out which industries best define what services you provide, whether it's a product or a service. New York City also, just to go back to this, New York City also has their own specialty code system called NIGP. I don't have it on this slide, but it's very easy to use and it's part of the registration process. And again, you just want to add codes that make sense, that best define the services and products that you provide. So after registration, we're going and you complete the registration process. The next step is certification. You may qualify for certain city certifications, state certifications, or federal certifications. You're not required to get all of them. You want to get the ones that make sense for you and your business. If you have no intention to do business with the federal government or the state government, then you're not required to get those certifications. Again, these certifications are optional. If you do not qualify for a certification, does not mean you cannot do business with the government. They do business with businesses that are not minority, that are not women-owned, that are not veteran-owned all the time. So these are not required. Even if you are a minority or women-owned business, these certifications are not required to do business with the government. These are just optional certifications that may provide value to your business based on your industry. And so the city of New York, the main certification that they push is going to be the minority women-owned business. There are other certifications not listed here that are available for locally based businesses, for economically disadvantaged businesses. There's a bunch of them for the city of New York. If you meet with our team, we can tell you which ones you qualify for, and you can make it a business decision whether it makes sense for you to certify for that, go after that certification. The state of New York as the MWB certification also, and also the counties have their own certification for MWBE, which in Nassau, Suffolk, Westchester, and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey also have their own certification. So it can get a little overwhelming with all the certifications. That's why we try to sit down with clients, have a plan of action of what makes sense for your business. The federal government has other certifications called 8A, which are for disadvantaged and historically, economically, and disadvantaged vendors, and we'll go in more detail later. We have the HUBZone certification, women-owned certification, DBE or disadvantaged business and enterprise certifications, and the veteran and service disabled veteran certifications available. We also, at the federal level, have something called the Small Mentor Protege Program. which is not a certification, but is only allowable to companies that are small business to be able to get in and get a mentor and protege to be able to go after federal contracts with that program. Just to tell you what the definitions are, because you're going to see a lot of acronyms. Some of you, for the first time, you're seeing these acronyms. A minority women business enterprise requires you to be 51% owned and operated and controlled by a minority designated as Black, Hispanic, Asian Pacific, Asian Indian continents, and Native American or Alaskan Native. And additionally, the women's certification, you must be 51% owned, operated, and controlled by a woman. So the ownership is going to be reviewed by the government and must be real and substantial and continuing. So you have to be the decision maker of your business. You have to be the voting member of your business that that decides everything. If you're a part of, if you have a board of directors of your corporation and you have partners, you can't have equal voting. The minority or women-owned business owner must be the deciding vote. Net worth requirements was recently increased to $15 million. So your net worth, including retirement accounts, any properties you own, and cash on hand, and other assets that you may have cannot exceed 50 million, which increases the opportunity for some of the more medium-sized businesses that may have ownership that have a little bit more net worth. So this is just to tell you the laws that you can look up later if you like, to tell you why these programs exist in New York City and New York State, are guided by local law 129 and New York State Executive Law 15A, which created the MWB programs. And the purpose of these programs are to promote economic opportunities for minority and women-owned business enterprises and to level the playing field for MWBs. One cool thing about the program, and this is actually something that just updated recently for the state of New York, not for the city yet, but is the discretionary purchase threshold of 500,000 with formal competitive process. So if you're a minority, certified minority or women-owned business at the state of New York, this number actually increased to $1 million. So what that means is that the government can say, we have this product, we need this service. We're going to reach out to 3 or 4 or 5, a minimum of 3 vendors that are certified minority or women, and we can give that contract out to those businesses up to $1 million for the state of New York. For the city of New York, this is going to change soon. It has to go through city council, but basically right now it's still at 500,000 at the city of New York level. And it's a great opportunity because it could provide a contractor an opportunity to compete with less businesses for work and promote the mission of economic opportunities for MWBs. So the websites for certification, you must be registered to do business before you get certified, but these are the websites, and these will be clickable once we share the slides for you. Again, you don't have to do any of these things by yourself. You don't need to navigate all these things by yourself. At the PTAC, we can assist you with navigation and understanding the required documentation to get certified. If we have any veterans on the call, thank you for your service. One of the certifications that are available to you for the state of New York right now is going to be the Service Disabled Veteran Certification. And this certification requires a participation goal of 6%. So what that means is that they can, if there is a project worth $100,000 and it requires a subcontractor on the goals that for that project, 30% of that goal needs to go to minority and women, and then 6% of that goal has to go to service disabled veterans certified firms. So 36% of that whole project must be done by these groups. So it does provide an opportunity to grow service disabled veteran-owned businesses in the marketplace. Again, very similar to the MWB program. They must have be owned 51% by the veteran and controlled by the veteran, service disabled veteran at the state level, and ownership must be real, substantial, and continuing. In most cases, if you are a manufacturer of some sort, there may be a requirement of employees to be less than 300. And again, in general, any of these certifications, we request that a business be in business for at least a year. But if you are, for example, a business with owner with so much experience and things of that nature, like you're an engineer or architect, or you've been in construction your whole life and you just decided to start this business, there may be opportunities for you to get certified sooner if there is a business case for that, where you'd be ready to do business with the government right away. So although in general we want the government wants you to be in business for a year, that is not that's the general direction that they are telling you, but it's not the rule. There are ways to do that beforehand if it makes sense for your business. These are other local authorities that have certifications that I spoke about earlier, and other certifications available at the city level, like the Port Authority, School Construction Authority, and the MTA handles DBE certification. In most cases, all these certifications require 51% owned and operated. The federal government has been pushing this new certification to their vendors. This is a self-certification. So this is a box that you are testing to the government. You're checking a box when you register to do business on SAM, and you're telling the government that you're owned and controlled by a socially disadvantaged individual. And basically, the socially disadvantaged individual in most cases would be a person that is part of one of the general minority groups, which is Asian, African American, Hispanic, Native American. And in general, what they're doing is they're trying to get more opportunities in the hands of folks that are small businesses that are disadvantaged. One thing that I want to note, just to provide some clarity on the city, state, and federal levels, is that the City of New York's programs are generally a subcontractor program. So they're pushing you to be a subcontractor on a larger project. You're not working, in most cases, except for the discretionary. There's no incentive for them to bring you on other than discretionary as a prime. The real reason is to give you that first opportunity of government contract experience as a sub. So you'll be working for a bigger company, and they'll be paying you down the chain, and you'll be they're required to hire you, not specifically your company, but hire an individual with your certification to provide a certain percentage of the services for that project. That's the incentive at the city and state level. At the federal level, it's totally different. It's a set aside program. So basically, they're saying that this group of people with this certification will compete for this project. So if you're a small business and you check the box that you have a small business, you would compete against other small businesses, and you're going to compete for this project against small disadvantaged businesses. So it's a little bit different from the local level at the state and local level than it is at the federal level, and the purposes of the certifications. If you're 8A certified already, you are automatically qualified as a small disadvantaged business. 8A certification, which you might have heard of, is a program that provides you the opportunity it's a 9-year program, 4 years of development, 5 years of transition, and you only qualify once in your life for this program. And what it does is provide you the opportunity to get direct opportunities to you. It provides the opportunity with the federal government. It also provides you the opportunity to be a sole source for services and products that you provide. So it's a great program if you take advantage of it. I generally tell clients not to join the 8A programs unless they have some kind of experience in the federal space, because it's totally different from the local level and the state level. And you only have 9 years to take advantage of it. So if you spend 3 of your years figuring things out, you just lost a big portion of opportunity for your business. So it is a great program, but you want to get in at the right time and kind of have a plan of what you're going to do. And to be able to be certified as an 8A, you have to be 51% owned and operated by the general groups of minority, Hispanic, Asian, and Native American. There are opportunities to get 8A certified if you're not part of those groups, if you are if you can prove to the government that you're part of a group that was discriminated against in the United States. In general, what I've seen in my experience has been people who grew up in foster care, things of that nature that may not be minority, but they grew up in a situation where they were socially or economically disadvantaged in their lifetime in the United States society. So it's a hard thing to prove. It's really a case by case situation. But if you feel like your personal story proves that, we will help you draft that and understand what how you would put that letter together. But in general, it's minority groups and then disadvantaged folks who come from certain situations in American society. It's really difficult, but it is possible to be able to prove that. And there's a combination of it, right? So your net worth must be less than 750,000 to qualify for this program, and your personal income cannot exceed 350,000 for an average of 3 years. So it's an economic portion and a disadvantaged portion to be required. And in general, they want you to be in business for 2 years. But again, it's not just about being in business for 2 years. I would tell anybody interested in this program to also review whether they're ready to do business with the federal government. Another program that we have is the HUBZone program. This is a federal award goal of 3%. And basically what it does, it's based on the location of your business and also the location of your employees and where they live. They have to live within a specific area. There is a map tool that at maps.certified.sba.gov/HUBZone, where you can put in the address of your business and see if you qualify as a HUBZone, and we can help you out with that certification. In general, 35% of your employees must also live in a hub zone. Not all of them, but 35%. So you would have to get that information. The good thing is the government does provide a spreadsheet, so you can add in all your employees' addresses and kind of figure out whether you qualify or not. And again, this is a set-aside program where you will get opportunities through this HUBZone, and it's about increasing the economic impact of certain historically underutilized zones. So certain places in New York that that's always been poor or had dealt with poverty or high issues with poverty, they're trying to make investments for businesses to create jobs and opportunities in these areas. At the federal level, they have their own women's certification. They have economically disadvantaged women-owned certification also, and women-owned certification. So you're not required to be disadvantaged or economic. You're just required to be a small business or economically disadvantaged. So again, your firm must be 51% owned and controlled by the woman who holds the highest position and works full-time on the business and is eligible for the set-aside program. Your net worth must be less than 750,000 for the past 3 years on average, and your income cannot exceed 350,000. This is a great program for women-owned businesses if they're trying to do business with the federal government, because you'll be competing against other women-owned businesses and other economically disadvantaged women-owned businesses. So it creates a different kind of thing. DBE. So as you know, the White House recently signed a law, the IRA, which is the Infrastructure Inflation Reduction Act, but also has infrastructure opportunities. There's going to be a lot of money in the Department of Transportation field and civil construction, bridges, tunnels, trains, you name it. There's going to be a lot of opportunity in this space. So I do recommend that any businesses in the DOT space get certified as a DBE. We can connect you to get certified with the MTA, or we can also connect you directly to the US DOT through our Small Business Transportation Resource Center located right here at LaGuardia, and learn about the different opportunities there. The 4 certifying agencies for the state of New York are the MTA, Port Authority, Niagara Frontier Transportation, and the New York State Department of Transportation. This is a federal certification, but the certifications are handled through these authorities in New York State to facilitate the certification process. This certification can also be expanded. So let's say your New York State business gets certified as a DBE, and you decide that you want to also do business in New Jersey, you can extend your certification to New Jersey. There's a process for that to work on different projects in other states if your business is capable of doing that. For any of the veterans who are looking to get certified at the federal government level, this certification has recently been transferred to the authority of the SBA. Used to be under the VA. This certification still requires 51% ownership and control. And the federal government has paused taking new certifications until January of next year. But one thing that you can consider is that the change is going to be gradual. So if you are currently certified or thinking about getting certified as a service disabled veteran or veteran-owned business at the federal level, you can go online and check the box and attest to it until you get a chance to get certified at some point next year. So the year of 2023, you'll be able to be certified as a service disabled veteran just by checking the box on your SAM profile for that year. But starting January 2024, you have to be certified or have an application pending to continue to be certified. So it gives you a year to decide to put all the paperwork, get any documentation you need to get from the VA, but you'll actually be capable of being a certified vendor, at least for 2023, just by checking the box. Again, you don't want to lie or misspeak about your certification because people will challenge whether you are actually certified if you do win a project as a service disabled veteran. So it's important to be very honest and clear about what is true. But we can help you understand this process. It makes it very easy, at least for the transition period. So something to consider if we have any veterans that are looking to get certified at the federal level. This transition period makes it pretty easy for 2023. All you have to do is get that application in at some point, maybe in the fall, if you don't have time, and at least get the formal application put in to the SBA at that time. So this is where I was talking about the Federal All Small Mentor Protege Program. This is a great program that the SBA hosts, which provides AA and small business programs to find a mentor. And that mentor can be any big prime corporation that you think is going to add value to your business. The Mentor Protege Program requires that mentor provide you some kind of value. So usually that value can include technical, financial, management assistance. They can even own a part of your business, 40%, if they're gonna, even if it's something that you decide that makes sense for your business. And what they're going to be doing is assisting you in performing your contracts, trade education, and general administrative assistance. It's a great opportunity if you have the right partner to take your business to the next level and learn how to get into the government contracting space, especially if you can find a good mentor. One thing is, if you do get into a mentor protege agreement, which you do have to submit to the SBA, and it doesn't work out, you are allowed now a one-time switch where you can, within a certain amount of months, if you're not seeing any value, you can switch to another mentor for a one-time only. The value, the benefit to the mentor is that they can go after certain projects that are certified for small business. So it's a great opportunity. It's a win-win situation for both parties. So these are like the three requirements. There is a template on the SBA website for your mentor protege relationship. But I would suggest, even though this is a template, it's not legal advice from the government, you always want to talk to a legal advisor to make sure that any agreement that you sign, even though it's not legally binding in nature, that it makes sense for your business and you protect yourself and things of that nature. So there is a template available, but we also tell clients to talk to get any legal advice, possibly if you're not sure of the agreement. One of the requirements for this program is to create a business plan, upload your agreement, and the mentor protege must complete an online training manual. This agreement would last for 3 years, and it's a one-time deal. So now that we've already gone through registration, we've gone through most of all the certifications that are available at the city, state, and federal level. The next thing is, okay, we got the administrative part. Now we got to come up with a plan of finding opportunities and doing research, additional research to find the active opportunities that are available. So these are some of the websites that you can look at. They're very similar to the ones that we talked about doing some research before you get into the government space. In some cases, the government may reach out to you, but in most cases, it's going to be up to you to find those opportunities that are posted on SAM.gov or City Record Online or the state contract reporter, and to bid and follow the instructions. So it's important to have a process in place of how to find opportunities and how to find primes to leverage any certifications that you qualify for. Another thing that you want to talk about is finding opportunities, marketing. You want to get noticed. Certification does not guarantee opportunity. Just because you're certified doesn't mean anything. You still have to market your business. Even if you're a part of these programs like the 8A or Mentor Protege or anything like that, it's really up to you to make things happen and put your sales cap on. And the only way to do that is to have a plan of action and marketing plan. So you want to, one of the most basic things that you can do to do business with the government or the private sector is to create a capability statement. Do you have outstanding performance? Do you have a proven capacity? Are you certified? What makes you different from your competitors? Are you specialized in something? Don't just rely on your certifications. This capability statement, which is a one-page document, should explain, almost like a resume, who you are, what you do, what makes you different, and what services you provide. And you can even list some of the past performance. Hey, I've done projects on average over $1 million, or I've done projects over 100,000. It gives the reader, the agency that you're marketing to, an idea of what you're capable of, what you do, and adding all your, they can look at the codes that you found. Remember in the beginning, we talked about your North American Industry Classification Code system. You can kind of tell them, these are the industries we cover. And again, this is a living and breathing document, right? So if I'm going to do business with the State Department, I might want to tailor that capability statement to that specific agency's mission and what that agency is looking to do because of their forecast. So the research that I did gave me an idea of what the government's going to buy in the near future. Now, when I go talk to the government, I can create a capability statement based on the government, what that agency is going to buy. So again, it's okay to have a general one, but if you have a specific plan for a specific agency and the services that they need, you always want to focus on that. Another important thing is to create a web page or a website that is focused on government clients and private clients. So you want to have an approach like that. Another thing is you want to do research on who are the small business liaisons at the different agencies at the city, state, and federal level. Look into different micro purchase thresholds that are at the federal level. A lot of these opportunities, the government is inviting people. They're not posting it right away because they're not required by statute. So you need to build relationships with these agencies and figure out what they need. And if you get the opportunity to provide that service, provide it at a high level. So next time there's something, they'll call you to bid. So these are ways, there are opportunities for you to get 3 bids and a buy and go after projects at these lower levels. And that's at the city and state level also. So generally, I just wanted to go over some do's and don'ts of doing business with the government. So you want to spend your time wisely. You want to do some market research, understand your industry, learn how to use all the tools that are publicly available. And we can help you and hold your hand as much as you need to understand how to use those tools and filters and search functions at the city, state, or federal level. You want to identify problems and solutions for your clients. If you understand a specific agency and their culture and their mission, which is all public information, and you can tailor your approach to what that agency needs, identifying problems and solutions, having conversations, and being a good listener can add a lot of value with you building a relationship with a government client. Do the work and get registered and certified. If you are, it doesn't make sense for you to go to events and for government agencies and connect with them and not be certified or registered when you qualify for them. So they are expecting you to be prepared. You want to network and build relationships continually and market your business continually. You need to have a plan of action of how you plan to sell to the government, how you plan to market to them, and continue that relationship once you do build rapport. And you want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row financially and also with your documentation of your business. So corporate documents, you want to make sure you're up to date, your licenses, if there are licenses required for your industry, certifications that are required for your industry, and all the documentation. I usually tell clients, hey, you use a memory stick if you feel comfortable with a memory stick, or use the cloud. You have many options like Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive. Be organized with your corporate documents and your business documents, because it's going to be so important for you to do business with the government. Compile RFPs requires a lot of boilerplates and editing and creating these things. You want to be organized and put them all together so that you'll be able to submit on time. There may be situations where you have 3 days to submit a bid, and if you don't have your ducks in a row and you don't have all these documentation set up and organized, you might lose time and miss your deadline. And the government will not, in most cases, accept anything that's late, ever, almost never, very rarely. So, even if you're 5 minutes late or 1 minute late from submitting it to the government, whether through email or through the mail, FedEx, UPS, the government by statute cannot accept your submission of a bid. So they're going to throw it in the garbage. So it's so important for you to be organized to be able to take advantage and get things on time. Quickly, I want to go over some of the don'ts. One important thing is don't sell everything. The government does not like multi-services. And if you do just happen to have 2 lines of businesses that are not related, it's important to differentiate those businesses either through a DBA or through separate capability statements. You just don't want the government to get confused about what you're doing. If you sell insurance, does it make sense that you also sell clothing? It's night and day there. So really think about what you want to sell to the government and focus on that. And don't sell every single thing. As long as it's related to what your business day-to-day operation is focused on, that's fine. It's okay to have multiple products and multiple services, but that it doesn't make sense for the government as someone who represents the government when they see a capability statement that says that you provide 2 separate non-related services on the same page. Don't forget to keep your registration certifications up to date. Most certifications and registrations require renewal. For example, the SAM registration, you have to renew every year and answer the questions. Same thing at the local level. Certifications every 5 years for MWBE. In some cases, there may be local certifications that require registration every 3 years. So it's important for you to put those things on your calendar and don't miss your deadlines for keeping those up to date. Don't meet with decision makers unless you have an outstanding capability statement, past before references lined up, and a pitch. You want to be able to explain to somebody in less than a minute and a half who you are, what you do verbally, and what you can do for them. So having a pitch is very important. Having an outstanding capability statement that's well organized and well thought out and explains exactly what you do, so important. And again, you want to have, from a time perspective, if you need to respond to an RFP or you need to provide references for an RFP or RFQ, a request for quote or a request for proposal, you want to have references lined up. You want to talk to your prior clients and have those set up so that if the government decides to call those folks, you have that information handy and they won't be surprised, and you won't have to like chase down a client to get their contact information to respond to the government for you. So you want to be as prepared as possible. Another thing is, from a marketing perspective, don't use any personal information. Email, phone numbers, you should keep them separate from your personal life. You should not have an email that says, that you're a construction company, but your email is honey123. It's not appropriate for business in most of the opinions of the government and the private sector. So I would suggest that if you do not want to pay for a specific website email, just create one on Gmail at least. That's the name of your company at Gmail. But ideally, you should own a website and own an email with that website on the bottom. So if you're GB123 Construction, it should be admin@123construction.com. That would be the ideal email account to create. So being professional, having a professional contact is important. And lastly, don't wait to the last minute. Be proactive and prepared. Again, if you're going after an opportunity or you're looking to go after opportunities in the future, having people like labor lined up, having the folks that's going to find you that labor, having your documentation in order, all these things come into play for you to do business with the government. And you need to be prepared because there may be a situation where you have limited time. And you want to be able to have a complete opportunity to submit. So again, don't wait till the last minute. Be proactive with everything from your research from the beginning, from the onset, all the way to when you're going to reach out to an agency, figure out what they need and what they want. This is our team. This is our contact information. You can also follow us on social media, and we're ready to help you with any of the things that we talked about or more regarding government contracting. We're going to allow any questions for the last couple minutes.
Okay, so Nelson, what a great job you did. We do have some questions. I've
Yes.
tried to answer the questions as we went along, but some of them I'm going to leave for you. So
Okay.
one of them from a Kimberly, are nonprofits included in business? Can nonprofits take advantage of these programs?
Yeah, so nonprofits can go after grants with grants.gov at the federal level, so they can register to do business with the government. I know there are nonprofits that do business with education departments, like the Department of Education, things of that nature. So yes, nonprofits can provide like they in most cases I've seen them do more like daycare services and things of that nature. It really depends on what kind of nonprofit you have, but yeah, you can win a contract. It's just it may be limited, or you might be going after more grant stuff. We're able to help you at least at the Apex PTAC. We can help you with getting registered with SAM or getting registered with any government agency. But in general, we focus on working with actual for-profit businesses. I think a SCORE might be able to help you more on the nonprofit side.
Yes, SCORE certainly can help you with the nonprofit. We can also help you write a business plan, because you will need a business plan to explain to prospective buyers who you are, what you do, what you're all about, and a good business plan will help you do that. And a SCORE mentor can help you with that. It's one of our prime objectives. Another question from Claudine: can you explain the process for SDVOSB who are already certified? My question is, already certified at what?
Yeah, if they're already registered at the certified at the state or the federal level, then nothing changed for them. They're going to be their certification. Well, at the federal level, which I'm assuming that's what they're saying, it's going to be switching over to SBA, but nothing has to change. You just have to renew when your expiration date comes with the SBA instead of the VA. But nothing changed definition-wise, submission-wise, documentation-wise. You don't have to do anything if you're already certified with the federal government until your expiration date comes. If your expiration date it comes next year, then you would just submit your renewal next year, just like anybody else, but through SAM instead, through the SBA instead of the VA.
Good, thank you.
I-
Uh, An anonymous attendee said, I put my application in to be certified as an MWBE. What are the next steps? Or other certifications necessary?
Yeah, like I said, it really depends on your business case, right? So me personally and my team, we don't tell people to get certified just to get certified. We usually want to create a plan of action for doing business with the government and get certified with the certifications that make sense for your business. And maybe you do qualify for other certifications, but if it's not going to add value to your business right now or in the near future, then why go through that? So we like to take that approach and help people grow and get the certifications that make sense for your business. So yes, you may qualify for other certifications, but it's all about your business case. So you could definitely reach out to our team and we could create a plan of action for you to see what actually makes sense for you to focus on. And like we talked about today, registration is the first step, certification is the second step. Next step is additional market research and marketing. And again, going after opportunities.
Okay, we have an optimistic fellow person who asked, also, what if we make so much money on one of these programs and I become economically advantaged? Am I not able to apply for any more contracts?
Correct. Yeah. So if you were to pay yourself for, let's say, for example, the 8A program, and you were doing amazing during the first couple years, you actually have to. They actually review you every year. There's documentation every year to make sure that you're still qualified to be at 8A. And if you were to pay yourself over the 350,000 or your net worth were to go over the limit, then yes, you would probably be early graduation of the program.
Good, thank you. I have a Maryland LLC. This is Craig, but I live in New York. Would the New York PTAC work with me? I've dealt with the Maryland PTAC, but they seem overwhelmed with clients.
Yeah, if you have an office here in New York, then yes, we would work with you. If your office is located in Maryland, then no, we would not cross state lines. But if you're here in New York City, we'll gladly help you if you have an office here, and we'll help you do business with the city and state government and things of that nature. But you would have to have a location here. We work with many businesses that have other states where they have LLCs, but and again, we will help you here. But also to do business in New York, you need to get a certificate of authority in the state of New York. So that's something that you might want to work with the SCORE or the SBDC to get set up first.
Okay, we have time for a couple more, couple of quick hitters. The veteran programs extend to military spouses. My wife is active duty.
Does it extend to military spouses? I'm not sure.
Yes.
I know it does. If unfortunately if there was a passing and they had a business, but technically, if you're still active duty, you wouldn't be a service disabled veteran. You would just be a veteran-owned business.
Okay.
I have to double check if you need to be out of service or not. I'm off the top of my head, I don't remember, but generally most of my clients are already done with their service. So I would have to look at the statute for that.
Thanks. I think a surviving spouse gets the advantages, but not a living spouse. That's my own, from
Correct.
what I read.
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay, I think we are done. We will answer all the other questions when we send out the information to you. And thank you for attending, and watch for our new series. Our next series is in January, and the slide set will tell you exactly what it's all about. Thanks to the 85 or 87 people who attended, and have a good holiday season. Bye.